was one can of beer with one transgender person on it.
No one was intimidated not to buy Bud Light.
Really? Then why did it drop?
No,
why did they lose market value?
Because it wasn't Dylan Mulvaney. It was the marketing person who denigrated the people who drank the beer.
Really, Dylan Mulvaney didn't get denigrated?
She did. He did.
Sorry.
I correct myself.
Everything is falling apart for Donald Trump. And that includes his relationship with the Fox propaganda outlet. Yes, things have gotten so bad for Trump that not even his favorite host at Fox can defend him anymore. And one specific host is really getting under his skin, who upset him so much that he ended up threatening her in an insane Truth Social post that we are going to take a look at. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, there were two examples of how this really MAGA Fox host called out Donald Trump's corruption and criminality that got him so upset. So we're going to check out both, starting with this one right here.
A European intelligence service uncovered a document that was prepared for the Kremlin the same week the president's team met with the Russians in Saudi Arabia. According to the Washington Post, it details much of what we've already seen play out, basically telling Russia how to stall while it continues to dismantle the Ukrainian state. It, quote, lays out ways in which Russia could boost its negotiating position by exacerbating tensions between the U.S. and both China and the European Union, by proposing U.S. access to Russian minerals, including territories it occupies in Ukraine. It also goes into how Putin should reject peacekeepers, propose demilitarized zones along the border. How do you know President Trump isn't being played right now by Putin?
Well, look, that's almost laughable. I'll take President Trump in dealing with the likes of Xi, of Kim Jong-un, with Putin and others. Certainly ahead of his predecessor, and really, as both President Putin and Zelensky said on our first call.
We talked about this just yesterday, how there was a leaked report out of a Russian think tank kind of laying out the plan for how they were going to help Donald Trump, or instruct Donald Trump to ruin the U.S. relationship with Ukraine and stall as much as they could to help Putin. And that's exactly what we saw. Every demand that Putin had, he got. And this is exactly playing out, like the Russians would want it to. And Donald Trump is also admitting that he's kind of in Putin's pocket. Just listen to him right here.
Putin actually said to me, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as my enemy. He said that very strongly. But with all of that, I had a very good relationship with Putin. I had a very good relationship with President Xi, a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Lots of good relationships. And that's a positive thing. That's not a negative thing. But at the same time, I'm about our country. So that's why we're talking about tariffs. We'll be taking in trillions of dollars.
I want to get to the tariffs in a minute, because we're going to first hit the...
For a man who pretends to be all big and tough and strong and macho, saying that he didn't want Putin to be mad at him because he thinks they're friends, is just so absurd and sad, and shows the insecurity of Donald Trump. But again, this is not the only big scandal happening with Donald Trump right now. It's also his co-president, Elon Musk, completely taking over our government. He's giving our foreign policy over to Putin, and America over to Elon. And that was criticized by the same Fox host right here.
He surveyed some cars. It was happening as, Americans' 401k accounts were facing some struggles because of this tariff war happening right now. Was that an appropriate thing for the president to do there? Was it sensitive to the moment that we're in, buying a car, using the White House as a backdrop for that?
A rightful question to ask. That's not even an attack. Like, this is how far Fox will go with telling the truth, right up to the point of actually saying it. So it's crazy that Trump got so mad, as we'll take a look at in just a second. But yeah, should Elon be able to destroy our government for his own profit? Should he be able to have a car commercial on the White House lawn? Absolutely not. But Donald Trump views Elon and Tesla generally in in a different way.
Do you consider what's happening an act of domestic political terrorism against one of your allies?
So Elon is a patriot. And again, I hardly knew Elon until the election. And he turned out that he liked me better than he liked these radical lunatics that were in it, better than Kamala, better than Joe, because he's an intelligent person. He backed me, and he went. And he got very much involved. He thought he actually would go around saying, if Trump doesn't win, our country is over.
But do you consider this an act of domestic terrorism?
I think so.
Why?
I think that if and when they catch the people, and I hope they do, the good thing is they have a lot of cameras in those places, and they've caught some already having to do with that. I think that you will find out that they're paid by people that are very highly political on the left.
I've said it before. You don't really need to light Teslas on fire, one, because you shouldn't, and two, because they'll blow up on their own. But Donald Trump is furious about this, because his buddy Elon also has his feelings hurt pretty easily. And so he's coming to his backing with an insane Truth Social post that we can see right here. Trump wrote, "I watched Jackie Heinrich from Fox over the weekend, and I thought she was absolutely terrible. She should be working for CNN, not Fox." Not surprisingly, I later found out she's a fan of the White House Correspondents Association. So clearly, Donald Trump watched the criticism of Mike Waltz over the weekend. Clearly, he understands how he is perceived as Putin's puppet, and that even Fox, his biggest defenders, are kind of pointing that out. But saying that she's a fan of the White House Correspondents Association, what does that even mean that she's in it? So are the other MAGA reporter. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This is how far Donald Trump has gone with attacking the free press. That even if you were the most MAGA die-hard, just being associated with covering him, just covering him, Donald Trump doesn't even want to be covered. He doesn't want the media there at all. The thought of an independent media just drives him crazy. It is so weird. And the Tesla hypocrisy stuff is so weird. Him claiming that this is the greatest assault on America. Oh, they're going after Tesla, boo-hoo. One, we can protest how we'd like. And two, it's a little hypocritical when you keep in mind two things that were pointed out right here.
You guys know, I think Elon Musk has done a tremendous amount of good. I think Starlink is one of the more exciting modern discoveries or creations that there is. I, again, reiterate, I draw the line at arson. No one should be setting cars on fire. But I would argue, no, this is an important point. It's a free market point. But also, we talked about Dylan Mulvaney, a single trans influencer who was on a single can of beer for months. And that can of beer set the conservative movement on proverbial fire, rooting against at least half an American company, the Anheuser-Busch side of things. Kid Rock out there doing target practice with Budweiser cans, people vowing to decimate that brand. And Dylan Mulvaney has much less of an impact on people's lives than Elon Musk does. So is that okay? Or that was wrong too, and everyone wants to mea culpa over that? It was one can of beer with one transgender person on it.
No one was intimidated not to buy Bud Light.
Really? Then why did it drop?
No,
why did they lose market value?
Because it wasn't Dylan Mulvaney. It was the marketing person who denigrated the people who drank the beer.
Really, Dylan Mulvaney didn't get denigrated?
She did. He did.
Sorry.
I correct myself.
These are the January 6th guys. You're mad that someone put like a bag of dog poop on a Tesla. The people you pardoned were throwing their feces at the halls of Congress, and you don't seem to care. It's just a little ridiculous, and especially because MAGA is trying to spin this up as some liberal talking point that we're upset with Elon, and we saw it in so many instances, but it's just like a larger argument that they're trying to make, that it's liberals who are somehow outraged that Donald Trump isn't following the law, and that's a manifestation of our own anger rather than the truth that they're just breaking the law. It's nonsensical. And we saw it from Tom Emmer right here.
his orders, but he clearly has taken steps, not just attacking judges, but he has gotten rid of inspectors general without notifying Congress under the law, freezing funds appropriated by Congress, trying to get rid of birthright citizenship in the Constitution, firing these federal trade commissioners when there is Supreme Court precedent saying a president can't do it. What do you think about all of that taken as a whole?
Well, again, I think this is a narrative that the media is trying to create.
No, just to be respectful with him, it's not a narrative. I just pointed out specific examples.
But when you don't talk about the Dobbs decision that Joe Biden viciously attacked our Supreme Court because he disagreed with it, and you make this look like something it's not, Donald Trump's not happy, I'm sure. But when it comes to what he's trying to do, there are 77 million Americans who elected him to do exactly what he's doing. And you know what? There's a lot of Americans who are very frustrated with judges who appear to be legislating from the bench instead of applying the law to the facts that are presented.
Right. First of all, Biden did not call for the judge to be impeached. But as you well know, there is a separation of powers. There's Article 3.
So he didn't use the word impeachment.
Okay, but and listen, that's in the past. This isn't about whataboutism. And I didn't just focus on the judge. I also focused on everything as a whole. But also, look, this is the way that our democracy works, whether you like it or not. And there is a judicial process under Article 3 that goes up to the Supreme Court. That is what is happening here. This law was challenged. It went to a judge. The judge made the ruling. There's appeals, and it goes up through the process. Do you have a problem with the way that our system of government under the Constitution is made up?
Not at all. If that's what you're asking me, Pamela, I would actually interpret some of the things you just said differently, but you and I have a different perspective on this. I think that the administration is doing exactly what they were elected to do. I think that you did.
I don't want to hear the mandate talk anymore when you needed Democrats to bail you out for your CR vote when you're going to need Democrats to bail you out again. And hopefully they don't next time. Chuck Schumer, this is not some media creation that Donald Trump is breaking the law. He's just breaking the law. And we're going to call him out for it. Certainly every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.